And welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. And with me this evening, we have Matt Riley, we have Scott, we have Jeff, we have Luke, and we have Mike. What's going on tonight, gentlemen?
Everything.
Everything.
Yep, the exciting August trash talk recap.
I don't want dog days. We're not dog days?
No, dog days
is next.
Is it?
Well,
It says right here.
Oh, I'll get a dog days tattoo on my back. Like a tramp stamp? Remember those popular?
You want to get the Texas Death League's logo tattoo.
Or the Catching House League.
The Texas Roadhouse League, how about that?
I like Texas Roadhouse. It's my new favorite restaurant.
Why?
Because I like their bread.
Is that the brown bread?
It's like this sweet bread. It's like
Yeah.
cinnamonish. Yeah.
Loaded with butter.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff. So, I guess my first question to everyone out there is like, what's your favorite chain restaurant? Matt, I know you're an Applebee's man.
Oh God, no.
Scott's a big fan of the Waffle House. I know that.
Waffle House.
Give me the Waffle House.
What was that, Jeff?
Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Love me some burgers.
That's fair. That's fair.
I will say I enjoy Fuddruckers burgers. I do.
You're not a Wahlburgers man, Matt?
The secret is the bun. The bun's loaded with butter. It's very good. The burger's okay, but the bun makes it taste better. But yeah.
Okay.
I've been to Wahlburgers. Five Guys,
Luke, what did they have in Soviet Russia?
That's a Luther Alexander question. I don't know.
In Soviet Russia, burger has you.
They don't have McDonald's, that's for sure.
They got McDonald's in China, though.
But not in Russia. They don't have any in Russia anymore.
There's no McDonald's in Russia?
No, not now.
We have two people watching. No one or no one's answering the question.
Where's Darren? Because I want to find out what kind of chain restaurants they got in Canada.
McDonald's.
They don't have McDonald's in Canada.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
Does that count? Do they sell food there?
That's all they sell.
Is it?
It's
They have donuts,
yes, basically donuts
coffee.
with
Denny's.
celebrity Justin Bieber donuts.
Grand.
But,
Has everyone ever had a bear claw?
Just in general, Bear Claw, yeah.
I hear the word like we'll get me a bear claw. I've never actually seen one in real life.
Just sugary Danish.
They don't have them at Dunkin' Donuts.
Pretty sure a Dunkin' Donuts donut, like a glazed one, that's smashed together in like kind of the shape of a claw. And there you go.
Rawr.
You're not missing much.
I want you to know that when I was 2 years old, my great-grandmother put me in a crib with a baby bear.
Like a real bear?
Like a real bear.
Like Ted the wrestling bear?
Yeah.
Was your grandmother a witch?
No, I guess someone in my family had found this baby bear and took it home with them because that's what you did in 1987, I guess. I don't know.
I thought you meant Frank Leatherman Snow there for a minute.
But she put me in, there's pictures of me, and my kids didn't believe me for the longest time. But there's pictures of me in the crib with the baby bear. And
he didn't eat you?
No, because he looked at me and I looked at him, and there was a connection. There's a connection there. It was a mutual respect.
Wasn't there a movie about this?
Look, there's a lot of movies based on my life.
The Jerk?
Jerk is a good one. I watched it the other day.
Somebody hates these chairs.
All I need is this chair.
I like watching ridiculous 80 movies. I just watched the movie My Tutor, which is ridiculous. So go check that out.
Is that about Henry VIII goes back?
That's a rich kid that has to get a French tutor to get into Yale, and they have sex and stuff.
Not Tudor, Tutor.
Oh.
Is that like the toy?
Mark says, Bear in the Crib sounds like a villain's backstory. I feel like you're writing the bear, though.
So I do remember...
That same bear is on the screen on the top right-hand side, by the way.
The bear eventually escaped and got out on the interstate. And this is in rural Iowa. But I remember visiting the bear and feeding it a cookie out of my hand, and it was by that time much larger. So,
There is so much here.
I feel like it's gonna be like a Yogi Bear scenario.
it's all true.
Would you go out to the forest and like have a cookie and then like come running out of the woods and be like, "Yay, bear's here! Treat time!"
I don't know. I think they actually like it got rehomed or whatever. Like they sent it back to like a nature preserve or something. Because obviously having a giant bear in the middle of Iowa is like a bad choice. Because it's like there's nowhere for it to go. So,
My dad had a monkey.
but yeah, he lives in like Panama or
He
something.
does. He had a little cowboy hat and smoked cigarettes. So it died though.
My friend has a
Oh,
monkey.
monkey?
Matt, you remember Dan?
Being a domesticated monkey.
Dan Castro, he's got a monkey.
What kind of monkey?
One of those little
Spider monkey type thing.
ankle biters, yeah, spider
Wow.
I feel like that should be a thing. That is, people should just have monkeys.
IWA contest. Someone gets a free monkey.
You win the IWA World Title, get a monkey,
By the way, speaking
or seahorses. Anyone ever buy the seahorses in the back of comic books?
Yes.
so,
Ridiculous.
I shared the picture of Scott with his world title clock, and I was thinking, wow, what if we like got the IWA to make the championship clock again? But he really not really out much options out there. But we could do it for the IWAR world title.
Get a. But I want one of those like '80s like alarm clock radios that like are still floating around because they're indestructible.
You don't want the ESPN football phone?
I do. I thought it was isn't that Sports Illustrated?
Was that what it was? Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated.
It used to come on during the AWA, that commercial, all the time. It's ridiculous. I also miss Orange Julius, Matt.
I
Doesn't
love
taste.
that one.
It only tastes good in the '80s because I had one when I went to Daytona Beach a couple years back, and it wasn't good. But I feel that was more.
Was it because they pissed in it though? I mean,
it was. I thought. I remember it being like a melted fucking orange creamsicle, right? But it does not, in fact, taste like that. It tastes like shit.
oh, that's too bad.
Orange shit.
Sorry.
Like you got orange grinds out of like your compost pile.
We have a Dairy Queen out here, and you can't get the Orange Julius only through drive-through.
Only through the drive-through?
Yeah.
What
Yes,
happens
sir.
if you go inside? Like I don't know why.
Then
is it
you go
only-
fuck yourself.
I guess so. I haven't gone in there to order one, so
You're like, can I have an Orange Julius? They're like, get out of here.
Did you know that Wendy's just released their strawberry frosty?
yes.
It's really good.
Mm.
Have you ever eaten fries
You can have
and
mine.
dipped them in the Frosty?
I have.
It's
All the
delicious.
time, I guess.
Gave me diarrhea though.
Well,
That's the
there's a
first
lot that gives you diarrhea, I feel.
Monday Night Raw especially.
Talk to Matt about that.
one.
Taco Bell.
It was like peeing out my ass. It was gross. Just water.
Taco Bell.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh. All right, who's leading off? Who's leading off at this inning?
You're doing the BRL.
Oh, I thought Jeff wanted to do
Matt Riley with the Battle Royal League.
If you, I can do NWL first if it helps anybody
That's
out.
fine. So Jeff, what's going down?
Well, we had another extremely active cycle in the NWL, and we had the culmination, or at least to this point, the culmination of probably one of the deepest storylines through TT that I've seen. It's been going on between at this point it's got to be at least 3 or 4 different runners, people who run Rustlers, and this has been going on for about 10 or 11 cycles now, and we finally got a culmination of it. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. First off, Futurescape 187 for this past cycle. Quick results. Willowick Classic, round 2. It was Ryoto over John Drake. and Nick Dane over Xeris, Hombre Mirto Xeris. So round 3, it's going to be Ryoto Onryo versus Nick Dane for the right to go eventually win the Willow Classic and head to Clash for the triple threat title match for the Young Lions title. X1 Championship Series. It was Oliver Livingston over Chainsaw Chuck, Tormund Erickson over Vic Morgan, Caesar Sterling over Father Bartolo. It was Oscuro, Principe Oscuro de Sangre over Vic Morgan. And it was El Mascarado over the Nationals. The Nationalist, I do not believe was active this past cycle. El Mascarado won that. San Quentin Prison Rules match was $10,000 to each of the winners. It was the previous iteration of Honor Revolt, Mark Justice, Nick Dane, Lachlan Kincaid, Wolf Keenan versus Death Row, Zanroar, Shackles Malone, Cell Block Charlie, and their friend from Nightmare Court, Hombre Mirto Xeris. And by 10 points, Death Row came away with that. So each of them, Zanroar, Shackles, Cell Block, and Xeris will each receive $10,000 in IWA money. Young Lions Tag Team Contenders match. We had Death Row taking on Nightmare Court, and Death Row wins that. The other 2 matches in the tag team series, we had the Nord Tag Team versus AOD. AOD wins that over the Nord faction, and it was the Firefly Brothers over Ronin. So all 3 of those teams move on to the next Futurescape, to the Young Lions Tag Team Contender match to see who will go for those titles at Clash. And in the Lioness title contender series, it was Scarlet Briar defeating Ericophobia. So that is your Futurescape 187 results. On to TT. So we start out TT this cycle in the NWL with, and my computer, there we go. The formation of a new tag team. This TT is called Formation of the Fall, and it takes place after a match between Vicious Vic Morgan and the English Gent, John Latham. It was a bloody, brutal bout. And after the match, Vic motions for a mic and tells the crowd that John Latham has won his respect. And he asks if Latham would like to start a tag team with him. And Latham agrees, and so now we have another new tag team. The NWL, one thing we have no lack of is tag team contenders. And it looks like we now have another in the fall. English Gent, John Latham, and Vicious Vic Morgan. So we will see where they go from here. We have El Hijo de Teamster, who for some reason decided to show up in the BRL. He shows up in the BRL, and Dapper Dandy is looking at him like, what the hell are you doing here? You're still under contract with the NWL. El Hijo says, Mr. Sterling's going to be mad, so I better take off. So he's got to go catch the bus so he can get to the other side of Willowwick. So El Hijo is still technically in the NWL, and of course he is the lone student in the Caesar Sterling's Excellence Academy. We move on to the San Quentin Prison Yard match at Futurescape. And this is a long write-up for this match, and it is very, very complex. And at the end, it basically clears the field and creates an entirely new situation in the ranks of the NWL. So this was a match between Honor Revolt and Honor Revolt's new tag team partner, new member, Mark Justice, the Young Lions champion. And they were taking on Death Row, Shackles Malone, and Cell Block Charlie, along with their partner, Zanroar, and their friend, Xeris, the dead man, Xeris. So it is a wild match. They going all over the place in the yard, in the prison yard at San Quentin, and all kinds of weapons being thrown around. And as the match carries on, eventually we have, and I'm trying to get apart here. Eventually we get to the point where it comes down to Zanror, who is Zanror's having a really difficult time in this match. He's basically getting the hell beat out of him. And so Zanror finally gets the upper hand, and he's got Mark Justice standing in front of him. And he's ready to threaten Mark Justice. He says, all right, Justice, it's your turn, and I'm coming for you. So he turns around, and his partners, Shackles Malone and Cell Block Charlie, are just standing there staring at him. So it's a swerve. And Zanror's telling him, what are you idiots doing? Let's take this guy out. Zanror didn't see what was coming. Deadman Xeris grabs a 10-pound weight in the yard, comes over and just smashes Zanror with it. Zanror's busted open. He's on the ground. Cell Block come over to Zanror, and they release the information that we've all wondered about Zanror since the beginning. Who is he? So Shackles Malone says, Zanror, it's a stupid name. It's because your brain is so addled and so destroyed that you can't remember your full name. Your full name is actually Zane Rourke. And they turn on Zanror, who has been their partner since they arrived in the NWL. And Cell Block says, you can blame all of this on Nick Dane. He's the one who gave us the flash drive. Anybody remembers, going back, this has been a storyline that we've been following through TT, that Death Row had this flash drive that had information, proprietary information about somebody in the NWL. Really cool that they did this, that they wrote this out over so many cycles, because if you go back and you read them, which I have, you follow it through, and you can see that they had a plan from the beginning. And it's not always easy to do that in the IWA, because you start out going one way, and next thing you know, someone else is calling you out, so you kind of branch off. But it's really neat that they kept this going, and they streamlined it the whole way. So Nick Dane gave Cell Block Charlie and Shackles Malone the flash drive with all of Zanror's information on it. It turns out Zanror was the one who set up Cell Block Charlie and Shackles Malone and had them sent to San Quentin prison. Zanror turned state's evidence. He betrayed his friend. So they spent 5 years in San Quentin, which is like basically hell on earth, because of Zanror. So Xeris, after hitting Zanror with that weight, he says, that was just the beginning, and we have something special set aside for you. Oh. So as Dapper Dandy and Hugh Jazz are trying to keep up with everything that's going on in the ring, so Nick Dane finally gets to his feet. Mark Justice gets to his feet. So Nick jumps from the cell. He breezes past Mark Justice and closes onto Zanror. He hits Zanror with a Superman punch. Then he hits Xeris with a Superman punch, because obviously he doesn't know what's going on. Cell Block steps up. He confronts Nick, throws a straight right to Nick's chin. Nick steps out of it and hits a right hook, just right to Cell Block's liver. Cell Block, he bends over in pain. Nick goes at him with his knee lifts. So Nick Dane, who's right now kind of like the toast of the town in the NWL and pretty much the IWAR in general, he made quick work of Xeris and Cell Block. So Mark Justice goes over to one of the guards who are watching this match. They're kind of guarding the prison yard, if you can picture it in your head. He grabs a shotgun from one of the guards and he smashes Nick Dane. No Limits McDane, his partner, the man who just invited him into Honor Revolt 2 cycles ago, hits him in the back of the head with the gun. Nick Dane staggers, and just behind him waiting is Mark Justice. Mark Justice runs up behind him, catches him, and he hits Nick Dane's own finisher, the 3-second magic, and takes Nick Dane out. So now Shackles Malone, Cell Block Charlie, and Xeris start kicking the shit out of Nick Dane. Justice stands there. He sees Zanroar's knocked out. He moves over and he locks in his finisher, minutes to midnight. The Warden comes over, lifts up Zanroar's arm. It flops to the ground. Zanroar's out. So storyline, H&R technically wins the match, but it's a very odd finish because Mark Justice lays out his own partner. Then he goes to Zanroar, taps out Zanroar, but still gets the win for Honor Revolt. So announcers, Huge Ass even says that, I'm speechless. I don't know what's going on here. So Mark Justice drops Zanroar, motions over to Xeris, Shackles, and Cell Block to grab his other partners, Wolf, Keenan, Lachlan Kincaid, and Nick Dane. Mark Justice, the white meat babyface Young Lions champion who fought through all kinds of hellfire and brimstone over the last 6 months to finally win this title after getting so close so many times, gets in front of No Limits Nick Dane and says, "You're one of the most decorated wrestlers to ever come out of the NWL. And out of all those titles and recognitions and accomplishment, what you really needed was a pair of glasses to see what was right in front of you. I told you I found some friends, and it wasn't you. Friends to watch my back. I never said it was H&R. You might be the greatest to come out of the NWL, but I did something that you'll never do. I won the Young Lions title." So if you remember the Futurescape results earlier, Nick Dane has a chance to go to Clash, and he's coming up on his finish in the NWL. So maybe he can take the Young Lions title before he heads out. But anyway, so Mark Justice pulls out of his boot an envelope and hands it to the Warden. And he says, "Before I forget, your payment is a little sweaty, but it spends the same." So evidently it was the Warden who gave them the information that Zanroar was the one who turned on Death Row. At the end of this, after the dust settles, Mark Justice says, "One last thing before we go. Meet the new Dishonor Revolt."
Oh.
Ooh. So no more Honor Revolt, Dishonor Revolt. So now the Dishonor Revolt is Mark Justice, Cell Block Charlie, Shackles Malone, Deadman Xeris, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure who the hell else is in this faction at this point, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens. At the end, and we'll pick up with this in another TT shortly, at the end, Shackles and Xeris grab the limp body of Zanroar, and they carry him away. Awesome storyline. Kudos to everybody who was involved in this, from start to finish, soup to nuts. Just an awesome storyline. And I'm really looking forward to see what happens moving forward here, because this kind of incorporates like half of the main superstars currently in the New Wave League. So really, really good stuff to everyone involved. Moving on. We have Oliver Livingston. So your everyday hero, the man who has delivered babies and saved children from burning buildings and pulled people out of car crashes and everything else. So Dapper Dandy and the NWL crew, they're getting ready to pull out of Kissimmee, Florida, and they're at a 7-Eleven. And they decide they want to get some pizza. So across the street, they see Al's Real New York Pizza. So they go up to the window to place their orders. It's your everyday hero, Oliver Livingston. He's serving pizza to people. So Dapper Dandy says to Oliver Livingston, what are you doing here, serving pizza? And he says, well, he's just trying to greet local tourists and show them a real slice of Florida, pun intended. So Oliver Livingston then goes on to declare himself as an entry in Bound for Glory 10. And he says that the reason he's declaring himself for Bound for Glory is because he didn't appreciate the call out from the author of Agony, LePage Turner, who, as we know, has been going league to league just talking shit on everybody. So he is he's looking forward to locking horns with LePage Turner at some point. So he's going to try to work his way up to there. And then, of course, at the end of this TT, Oliver Livingston, being who he is, he looks over and there is a kid who's choking on a garlic knot, and he runs over and he saves him. Oliver Livingston saving lives left and right, and also joining Bound for Glory 10 as a participant. Next up, we got Dark Danger. Now, Dark Danger is kind of aligned with my two dads, with Father Conrad and Father Bartolo. But it seems like sort of an uneasy alliance or an unholy alliance. But he calls out someone really odd in this TT. He calls out Monster Truck Tanaka, who he would be replacing in the Lethal Lottery, in Lethal Lottery 2. He says Monster Truck Tanaka is a waste of everyone's time. He needs to be pulled out of the IWA completely. He also calls out Atticus Black, who was his tag team partner in Lethal Lottery. Says Atticus Black, you kind of got to get your shit together. You're not exactly setting the world on fire. And then Dark Danger, of course, is he's already locked into the Young Lions title match at the next Clash. So he calls out Mark Justice and says, this is it. This is the culmination, everything he's been working for. And he is going to take his time, and he is going to break apart Mark Justice piece by piece by piece. And finally, at the end, he declares, not only is he declaring his entry for Bound for Glory 10, but Dark Danger is also announcing his entry for the 2022 IWAR draft. So one more entry there for the IWAR draft. The draft board is starting to fill up with some pretty big names. Next up, we have a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling, your current reigning NWL League champion. So Dapper Dandy's in the ring. Scumbag comes out. El Hijo de Teamster, his student's not with him. He says that he's down in Florida. He's training at the Excellence Academy, getting ready for his big match, his #1 contender match at Clash. And that that Mark Justice got very lucky at the last Clash. And Mark Justice already declared for the IWAR draft. So Dapper Dandy says, will you, Scumbag Sterling, be declaring for the IWAR draft? And Caesar Sterling says, no, I will not be, because drafts are for people who do not have control over their own lives. So the IWL and the BRL, the offices are probably having dreams about drafting the Caesar. Well, they're not going to be able to draft him. They're going to have to buy him. He's not going to leave his future up to a coin flip, because his future is too important. And either one of those leagues is going to have to really earn it to get him to join. And then once again, he calls out Nick Dane at the end of this TT, because, well, it wouldn't be a cycle without Scumbag Sterling calling out Nick Dane. Moving on, we've got Nightmare Court. Now, Nightmare Court is Xeris, Hombre Muerto Xeris, also known as Deadman Xeris, and Principe Oscuro de Sangre, which is Dark Prince of Blood, and also Scarlet Briar, their female compadre. So this is a cryptic TT. Xeris says, we've proven that we can hang with the best in the league, which they have, and they've only been in the NWL for, I think this is their going on their 4th cycle, and they've already won the league tag titles. So they've definitely proven they belong. But it looks like they've got someone else that they're going to be going after. So backstage, the camera catches up to Nightmare Court, and Xeris is looking at Scarlett, and he asks, is it official? Scarlett just nods her head. So Xeris says, good. It's about time that dues are paid. So it looks like they're going after someone else, but we don't know who that is yet, so stay tuned. Next up, we got Ryota Onryo, who has a new mask and ring gear this cycle. Once again, very odd, very kind of mysterious competitor. Dapper Dandy catches up to him, and so he's a little bit sad that he wasn't able to reach Dark Danger. He wasn't able to get through to Dark Danger and help him, and instead Dark Danger fell into the hands of my two dads. So what he's going to be doing right now is he's got a match against Oliver Livingston coming up at Futurescape, which was actually last cycle. He is concentrating on that. And, you know, he is a top 10 contender, so it's definitely a guy we have to keep our eyes on. Death Row, and this picks up right after that huge TT earlier, the San Quentin match. So right after the San Quentin prison yard match, Death Row, Shackles Malone, Cell Block Charlie, they're driving their 1971 Barracuda through a desert, middle of nowhere. Cell Block says, pull over. That's a good place right there. So they get out and they start digging a shallow grave. They go back to the car, to the trunk. They open it up, and they pull out Zanroar, who's still unconscious. They carry him over to the grave, and they throw him in. Cell Block then reaches into his pocket and pulls out the flash drive that had the information on it, the information that Zanroar had given the police to imprison his friends and save his own ass. He throws the flash drive on top. They bury them, and they drive off. So later that night, a few hours later, we see a white van pull up. Zanroar's still buried. 4 men get out of the van. It is Dark Danger, Father Arturo, Father Conrad, and Ryota Onryo. All of them working together. They get out, they unbury Zanroar. And Father Arturo says, we have our sign. We have our next disciple. So Zanroar, the arc of the Zanroar or the Zane Rourke character continues. We have another TT from my two dads, Father Conrad, Father Arturo. And in this one, they're saying that they respect Ryota for trying to save Zanroar. So I guess chronologically speaking, this TT happens before that previous one. So you can see they had some respect for him. So now they're working with him. And my two dads, one of the dominant tag teams in the NWL, they call out Death Row, they call out Nightmare Court, and they still have their sights set on being the not only the Young Lions tag team champions, but also being the NWL's most dominant tag team. And they call out Nick Dane, says, you're in the Willowick Cup. If you win, will your pride allow you to stay honorable at Clash of Champions? Nick Dane, of course, the one title he's never won is the Young Lions title. I think he's won just about every other title in the NWL. So that's the one title he hasn't won. So be interesting to see what happens if it ends up being Nick Dane and Mark Justice in that final match there at Clash. We have a postcard from Angelina Blanco, the Angel of Light. She says, after winning the Arizona Championship, she's writing this postcard to Johnny B. Says, after winning the Arizona title and that $100,000 prize, she crossed back over to Mexico to be with her grandmother, who is having some health problems. So that money is going to go to help her with her medical care. So she kind of fell off the map for a little while, but she says that when her familia no longer needs her, she will be back. So it sounds like Angelina's taking a little bit of a sabbatical from the NWL. And then finally, we have another cross-league TT from the author of Agony, LePage Turner. And he addresses the New Wave League. He says, stopping back the last few weeks brought a lot of memories. And what the author of Agony wants to impress on all you rookies is to think about what your future will look like. The IWAR draft is coming up. If you want to be bigger stars, that's where you got to go. He says, will you go to the IWL? And he rolls his eyes. He says, or will it be the toughest league in the IWA, the BRL? It's the biggest event, and you want to be there. And he says, we don't need you. We don't need you if you're going to be the next Hebrew Hammer or Fighter X. Two guys who were obviously very highly ranked NWL superstars who were, Lance Horowitz was actually the #1 pick in last year's IWAR draft, which over the Grady's, which was a mistake. And
thanks for letting me live that down. So thanks you, appreciate that.
He's calling out everybody. He also calls out the IWL and the BWL, but I'm sure this TT shows up there too. So I will leave that for that review. And that is 60 pages of TT and matches and everything else in the NWL for cycle 187. It should be interesting to see what happens this cycle. See what happens moving forward with Dishonor, Revolt, and Mark Justice. But another really good cycle, very competitive.
Very good. Long-term storytelling.
Absolutely.
Well done.
I dig that. So next up, Battle Royal League.
Oh,
the match is going down. And the BRL.
Nothing. The end.
I thought that was a recap of the ASL for a minute. Sorry.
Oh, it's true. Let's see. BRL. Just a quick reminder that, sorry, my throat is destroyed. So I'm going to plug through this best I can. First, congrats to myself for the U.S. Championship. Thanks, Johnny B. It's okay. I'm calling my shot, and I will win the World Championship this cycle. IWA Championship. It's coming home. That's right. So, BRL-wise, hold on. All right, BRL-wise, that's a little better. Dick Jackson, of course, is trying to keep control of things as they head towards a pay-per-view. Some fans walk up to the commissioner and kind of say to him, like, hey, how come you guys don't have the right schedule for the matches? And you guys can let me know if you think it should change it around. The way the schedule works in the BRL, we have like matchups for the different divisions, and the winner of each division's kind of like series goes on to challenge the champion. Well, just the way it worked out timing-wise previously, right now it's always like, right now, for example, Rec Grady will challenge the winner at Battlecade of the upcoming pay-per-view. So in one way, it's like, okay, good, we have plenty of time to build up that match and go to it. But if you guys think it's too much time, I'm not averse. I'm not against like changing it up and whatever. But I'll let you guys let me know, because the big thing really is I want people to have enough time to promo the match, but not too much time, because that happens after a while. Like, I feel like LePage Turner's had this defense against Mick Ferrari for like 5 years, it feels like, and this cycle coming up is the pay-per-view cycle. So the results will count for the write-up will be off of this coming Tuesday's results. So it'll be important that way. Let's see. So Dick Jackson also announces the Fall Brawl 10-man Street Fight Battle Royal, which was my way of getting everybody I could into the Battle Royal or into the pay-per-view. You'll see I have a rankings page, and we have kind of a list of like the different divisions. I was asked by a couple players, hey, you're going to add a third championship for singles. And I've been flirting with the idea of dropping the Global 6. So I need you guys to tell me if you think we should keep the 6 and replace it with another singles title, maybe like the Heritage title. I know somebody out there would like that. Or
you would like the Legacy title even better.
Or the Legacy title, yeah. Or if you think we should keep both, I'm open. You know, I don't mind doing either because I just feel like what happens right now is it's kind of so clogged. I want to kind of.
You don't even have to pay him. He's always open.
That's right. So
gross.
Yep. You'll see the new matchups coming up in the next issue. So let's see here. All right. So Jax McAllister talks about his turning on the Silver Hill Savages and is claiming it's his yard now, and that's, you know, another time the Silver Hill Savages got turned on by Brom O'Baron and Ron Diarmond after they trusted him. So they have a history of kind of getting turned on by people that, you know, I think Jim Spur is the only one that didn't turn on him and just left. But, you know, Mike Sebastian, Agent 26, Punk Rock Mike, Patrick O'Malley, that core has been there for a long time. So Mad Hooligan's now like on their hit list. But Mad Hooligan has a match with Ghostly Shadows at the pay-per-view, and kind of what I call the Halloween theme match. We have Monster Truck Tanaka switching over here, talking about his title defense against Who the Heck is Mike Cook. I have a very special promo built around that match in this coming issue, so you'll see that. He also talks, of course, about Pain and Destruction, Greg Garner, Rick's Payne, and Colonel Doom. And that beef's got to get settled at some point. So if Mike Cook prevails, you might see a big showdown at Battlecade between Monster Truck Tanaka and P&D. Let's see, next up, we had The Bachelor. ABC's The Bachelor. People love this show. And Hawaiian Heartthrob was on it. And Hawaiian Heartthrob, the sex symbol of the BRL, was happy to be there. But, of course, the Total Package U.S. Mail barged in, caused a problem, and then, you know, Hawaiian Heartthrob, you're going to attack me here in front of these women? And I was like, no, I'm not going to attack you. The mannequins do that. And then the mannequins show up and beat the hell out of Hawaiian Heartthrob. And Flashy Jack Ferdinand walks in, and the former Modern Models tag team out of the NWL reunite and have reformed their team. So that'll be to reckon with, so to speak.
All of these tag teams. Oh, my gosh.
I know. Adam Cash has a promo where he goes to a guitar shop factory, and he's trying to find the best guitar maker because the match against Double R Rob Ratliff is going to be an exploding guitar and a pole match. So not just a guitar and a pole match, but an exploding guitar. So looking forward to getting that one on. And as he asks to meet the guy who makes these guitars, out walks a man in a big apron with a cowboy hat on and a T-shirt that's dirty that says Western Medicine, and it's Jim Spur, Cowboy Jim Spur.
He's alive?
He's alive.
Yes.
We didn't know what happened to him, so he'll be coming back. Let's see, LePage Turner. I talked about this stuff with him. He's building up, of course, the defense against McFerrari. And then, of course, he's got this huge match against Punk Rock Mike and Nightmare Johnny Carnage. And Punk Rock Mike and LePage Turner had this long rivalry. Mike actually beat Turner for the belt 2 years ago this August. So it's a big matchup. Let's see here. Next up, we have, and I got to say, I'm very happy to see this. I know our buddy Catfish Rob has been battling some illnesses. But I know it's hard for him to draw, but I love seeing the drawing, so well done. And of course, he made Pork Chop Cash with a broken banjo over his head. And Double R Rob Ratliff is ready to take down Adam Cash. So that's a huge, huge matchup. Looking forward to that one. The Fox brothers, Chief Boldgray Fox. Yes, you might remember the NWL when he found a horse head. What was Alec? What was the horse's name?
Shit.
Yeah.
Buttercup.
Well, it was Luther Alexander severed. Oh, no. Luther Alexander had someone else do it.
It was Mike Mason who severed that.
Mike Mason did it. He cut the head off his horse and put it in his bed. I've always loved that promo. I was like, oh, my God. So the Fox brothers looking for a fight, and I think they're going to get one. Let's see here. Jane Red and Matthew Van Slaughter talk about regaining their global tag team titles. They're not done yet. Wisp is looking for a matchup with Agent 26. They wanted that rubber match, so I'm going to make sure that happens at Autumn Anarchy because you guys put a lot of work into this feud. So let's see who wins the rubber match. Seth Adams Lee's talking about, excuse me, wanting an Iron Man match. Unfortunately, the guy he calls out, Riku Matsuda, has left the game. So he retired in the Hall of Fame, I believe. But the players left the game, so we'll find something else for Seth Adams Lee to do. I think I put you in the Battle Royal for the 23 match. So Guns, Greg Gannard still pissed off at Tonka Truck Tanaka. Their longtime rivalry for like years now, still unsettled. Former allies arguing over who leads their stable, and and then he takes a slight from Hot Stuff Adam Cash because he made comments about hitting people from behind and said you weren't talking about Big Guns, Greg Gannard, or the Pharmacist RX Payne. I will say this: the BRL has a couple of guys, Catfish Rob, Double R Rob Ratliff, and Pain of Destruction, who always are good for a sneak attack every cycle. Someone's getting either a guitar broken over their head or choked by a chain. So, here. Okay, so, and of course what happens next, Monster Truck Tanaka is waiting for room service. And as he's waiting for room service, the waiter says, here's your food, he throws the towel on his head, and starts beating him up. And it's Greg Gannard dressed as the waiter. So Greg Gannard beats him with a chain and chokes him up until he passes out. Always good for a chain sneak attack. Next up, we have Zydrate and Nivek Largo talking about some of their upcoming matches. Zydrate's taking on Rock the Dwayne Johnson. And Largo wants Jax McAllister. Now, Jax McAllister's got a lot of people on his dance card right now, so that could be happening soon. But just Zydrate versus Rock the Dwayne Johnson will be interesting to see what it plays out. I think there was, well, we'll get to it later. But Zydrate's one of my, like, I'm a mark for Zydrate, so don't mind me. Let's see here. Next up, we have Vertigo's Got Talents, hosted by Terry Crews. And it's a new show. So Legends of the New Wave, which, of course, is led by CV Vertigo, Samoan Death Grip, and Nightmare Johnny Carnage. They're looking for a new member. Well, Mick Ferrari said no, so now it could be anybody's game. And there are a lot of NWL talent alumni in the BRL, and there'll be some more coming in, so you don't know what's going to happen next. So let's see. Next, we have Rhett Grady, who does a little in the woods fireside chat with Dapper Dan D and Larry, the one-eyed bull mastiff. So, kind of talking about what's going on. And, of course, it comes down to eventually, of course, the huge matchup between Rhett Grady and Mick Ferrari. And I talk about like certain rivalries, like Punk Rock Mike, LePage Turner. Well, Mick Ferrari and Rhett Grady have had a long rivalry. They were kind of like, I would say, what would you say, Jeff? You guys are kind of like just competitive rivals until he left the NWL and attacked Rhett Grady?
Yeah, basically, I think Mick Ferrari, I mean, I'll be humble here and I'll say that Mick Ferrari had a better NWL career than Rhett Grady. But Rhett Grady won the Young Lions title and held it for months and months and months. So Rhett Grady
lost it.
So Rhett Grady kind of got all the publicity, but Mick Ferrari was, racking up all kinds of accolades. So Mick Ferrari was not happy about that, so he attacked Rhett Grady. So yeah, it basically came down to just a competitive rivalry. But now it's turned into more of a let's see who can be the most violent rivalry, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Again, this is one of the promos that I always enjoy reading because it puts you in the environment, like you're in the atmosphere, and Dapper Dandy and jeans, entertaining to me. So again, remember, guys, this coming cycle is the one that determines the winners of the matches, and then the write-ups will be in the issue after that. And if anyone out there is saying, hey, I want to write, please let me know. I'm happy to have you guys take part. Next up, we have T4H, which is Thugs for Hire. So Rodney D'Armond and, of course, the little mute Brom Baron finished their workout, and they're kind of talking about what they need to do to get things going. And they've taken a lot of money from different people to kind of screw people over. So it's almost at a point where, like, who have they not turned on yet? I always think back to, like, remember Paul Orndorff when he would turn, and like Big Show would turn every other week. It was like, for like so many times. Barry Windham for a bit, I guess, too, kind of. But I always remember Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff because I was a big Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff fan. So they talk about their connection to Page Turner and possibly helping him out, which could be a hint at Autumn Anarchy. Next up, let's see here. We have Hawaiian Heartthrob, after the brutal assault at the set of The Bachelor, says that he will get back at U.S. Mail, and that while they never got to clash in the NWL, he will take him on. And we have some beefs here as the sex symbol of the BRL being challenged by the self-proclaimed sexiest man in the IWA. And wait till you see the promo this month. So next up, we got Studs and Duds with Stevie Vertigo. So this is a legend of the new wave. They kind of take time to discuss what's going on in the league. I will say this again: there was a promo directed at Perfect Crime and Drago Tanaka, and we know Drago left. So one of my favorite things to do is if you have to leave the game for a while, always have your character written off in a good way, like so you have something to come back to. So taking that to heart, Stevie Vertigo pile drives Drago Tanaka through a windshield. So you guys can see a thumbs up for me. I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, Carnage smashed Champagne over his head. They beat the hell out of him, and of course a tombstone pile driver through a windshield in a Cadillac. Probably an improvement. All right, so next up, this is a good write-up here. This is the BRL main event. So what we had happen is you have the championship match write-up between Rhett Grady and Stevie Vertigo, who of course, if you were in the NWL the last couple of years, you remember they had a pretty savage feud. And I want to say at the very end, it was he tried to burn down the farm, right?
Well, no, it was the Grady's Rules match on the ranch, and it was actually SOS, Mike Dynasty, who tried to burn down the barn and then tried to frame Stevie Vertigo for it.
That's good stuff. And Mike Dynasty, if you're listening, we miss your promos. I did say I did see your promo this cycle. You talked about your guys' ID information. Thank you for doing that. So yeah, jumping in, but just want to kind of talk about it. You know, when you have big title changes, and then if you guys know, last cycle Stevie Vertigo was a champion, and you racked up the Elite, the Federation, and the Metro, I believe. So big hit by him. Well done. I love seeing you guys do well, and not just because we do the show together, just because it's fun to watch. You know. So a good write-up talking about how close it became, Stevie Vertigo winning, but again, this feud, this is one of the people well, what's NWL do? NWL I always look at as kind of setting the stage. So you have good rivalries, teammates, and then down the line you have a history to work off of. So that's why the write-up like this is so fun. And I'm not going to do it justice, but I would say if you're in the BRL, it's page 48, 49 in that ballpark. Give it a read. It is a fantastic write-up. Next up, we have another greetings from Legend of the New Wave, and this is the Samoan Assassin and Toa Noah getting interrupted by Dr. Piledriver during their promo, and they're taking on the Mannequins at Autumn Anarchy, and those two teams are kind of like two of the top teams in NWL in their time together, and the Mannequins won the Bad Company Cup, but the Samoan Death Grip were the tag team of the year and set the record for most tag team points ever in the NWL. So that rivalry is going to come to a head. But we had Dr. Piledriver here interrupting and asking him to step aside. And then Drago Tanaka is not going to make it to Autumn Anarchy. The Piledriver with the windshield took him out, and he'll never look the same again. And then, if it's the next page or not, it's not. Okay, I'll get to it later. But just, I'm a big Dr. Piledriver fan, as you guys know. So, next up, we got Flashy Jack Ferdinand's fan club letter. So
He likes all of his fans too.
yes. So we have the cover magazine where he won the Johnny B Cup number 9 there, and a reminder that the Magic Clash matches are also this coming cycle. So if you have a shot at the Revolution Championship, the IWAR Championship, the IWAR Tag Championship, which by the way, the IWAR Tag Championship is going to be the Amazing Graces versus the winners of the Lethal Lottery, which was Who the Heck is Mike Cook and the California Gunfighter. Is it right? Gunfighter, yeah.
Gunslinger.
Gunslinger, sorry, Gunslinger.
Suck.
And I know. So the thing is the rules for the winners of the Lethal Lottery, they're fought in the same terms. So the Lethal Lottery was 2 single strategies added together to get the winning total. So it'll be the same way. So it's once a year we have the tag team and the 6-man titles kind of get a little funky. So it could be anybody's game. So let's see here. We have a rundown from Flashy Jack about all the things he's got going on. He's looking to take apart Sabretooth. Their little rivalry's gotten a little more spatty and bitter. The royal family of dregs, as he calls them. So him and his little partnership with Double R, Rob Ratliff. How will that change with U.S. Mail coming back into the fold? More mischief. And then the Mannequins. They've been doing promos talking about the different the different members, 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2, of course, are the both 6'9" twins, like 350-pound twin brothers, and then Mannequin 3 is the mouthpiece. So you'll see him do the promos. Next up, we got another promo from Double R Rob Ratliff talking about Pork Chop Cash, one of my favorite minor league players. Then we get a Royal Family of Doom promo, and they're talking about Sabretooth still bitter about LePage Turner, telling him to watch his mouth. And then, of course, they talk about that, when this little rivalry with Flashy Jack is over for Autumn Anarchy, they're moving on to new things. So they got big things going on, and they hint at elsewhere as well. So if you're in other leagues in the Gold Federation, you'll know that RFD was big in the ASL and the BBL. I think the GWL, one of the leagues, but they're out there doing very well. They had a very good cycle this cycle. Fenris, of course, won the championship. Next up, we get the Schmidt brothers, who are on a cruise, and they're talking about wanting to turn up the the volume, so to speak, go after the White Claw Outlaws, kind of establish the Schmidt brothers as a top team, which is fine. We're looking to get those teams out there. Then, of course, my promo of the month, my BRL promo of the month, brought to you by Dr. Piledriver, MD, Stool Softener. Pile drive your bowels, page 55 of the bulletin, and positively peculiar placebos. And what I love about this is if you read the fine print, I'm going to try to read this without dying. Hold on. Okay, here it goes. Dr. Piledriver MD is not responsible for the side effects caused by Dr. Piledriver MD stool softener. Any reference to Dr. Piledriver MD is purely coincidental. Dr. Piledriver MD stool softener may contain side effects. Please contact someone other than Dr. Piledriver MD if you suffer from side effects including irritable bowel syndrome, shingles, rickets, vertigo, shortness of breath, lung damage, the chills, remorse, regret, or being a Mick Ferrari fan. Copyright 2020, Dr. Piledriver MD. Great work, Scott. That was fun. I love fake cats. Next up, we've got Rainbow Pony, who is looking for a challenge, and he's been kind of changing his look and kind of like trying to find the right look. I heard a rumor that U.S. Mail doesn't like him, so that could be coming out soon. Next up, Rainbow Pony comes down. He, again, calls people out. He's a popular guy, but he's very controversial. So I think it's a matter of who's going to step up. And any players that are thinking about the BRL coming in, it's good to look at guys that are doing promos and kind of waiting and looking for challenges. Go after those guys. Next up, we got Kabuki Dragon calling out Tommy Zulu and saying that the happy-go-lucky, fun, laughing Kabuki Dragon is gone, and you're going to get the kamikaze, which, just to give you an idea, the avatar, if you will, for Kabuki Dragon kind of goes from this, stoic, or I shouldn't say stoic, but like serious, but fun-loving, kind of like Okada, Superface, to this like kind of remember. Alex, you'll remember this. What was Joshin Liger's alternate ego? The evil thing.
Oh, shit.
It was like something Liger. It was something named, but like basically he had like a super evil side of him to be unleashed to get back at people. So kind of
there was one when they took off his mask and he had like Muda paint underneath it, and then he sprayed Muda in the face with mist. That was dope.
Right. So it's kind of along those lines. That Kabuki Dragon kind of is going to that dark place to fight down Buzzsaw Tommy Zulu. Next up, we get the Servant House Savages. They're still reeling from being turned on by Mad Jax McAllister, who they trusted. They tried to, steer the right way. They talk about the upcoming pay-per-view, Age 26. Like, Wisp, you want a third match? Let's do it. So that's going to happen. There's some heat in time between the brothers, Age 26 and Punk Rock Mike, and Seabass steps in there. Mike Sebastian kind of calms it down, but. They're looking for a big challenge. They're looking to, go into the global match, retain it against, Johnny Carnage and LePage Turner, and move on to a new target, which would be Rhett Grady. So the lot doesn't get easier for Punk Rock Mike if he does retain. He discusses some of his injuries, nearly ending in a serious note. I know Punk Rock Mike has been laid up and injured in the hospital, so in real life. So hopefully get better, bud. We're pulling for you to get out of there, always reach out to us if you need anything. Next up, the Olympians. They talk about they kind of run down the various tag teams, and this is kind of a comical moment where they're basically chasing some of the tag teams around. The Carnival Profits kind of being goofs, and of course that doesn't end well for them because Aries leads him on a trap, and then Zeus and Hercules ambush him and beat the shit out of him, which I'm a fan of. Mysterious Benefactor, again, issues his best of 5 challenge, offering $1 million against $250,000 of your money. I have it from good sources that it's possible that Theo de Teamster will ask if you can borrow the money to challenge you and take you up for that best of 5 match. Then we get, Tommy Zulu, the Mad Dog. He's talking about his big match against Kabuki Dragon, and they have a long history, so it's a lot going to be settled, the grudge match. We got a new guy called Rick Splatterhouse. So he's from the SOS Whoop-Ass Incorporated. So he's got, I think, 5 or 6 promos, really establishing the character and showing how serious he's about winning this, and the kind of a haunting persona. There's a game called Dead by Daylight, and after I saw this image, that's all I could think of was the Dead by Daylight, which is, if you don't know, it's a video game where you either play the killer or the teenagers running away from the killer, and it's kind of like one of those games you got to try to survive. So Rick Splatterhouse reminded me of that. So I don't know what Rick Splatterhouse is going to do yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But there's more coming. Then, of course, I mentioned the Profile Spotlight by Mike Dynasty. Thank you for doing that. I'll be able to filter those in. We get the Carnival Prophets, and they're talking about, Bad Moon Rising and getting really dark, serious side of the Carnival Prophets, which we've not seen before. So a newer, darker look from the Carnival Prophets, which I guess you could say, laughing clowns are kind of considered evil nowadays. Next up, we got Mick Ferrari. Breaking news: Mick Ferrari's tested positive for COVID-19, and he won't be able to do any promos.
I thought it was with cocaine.
It's positive for cocaine. It was crack cocaine.
Black tar heroin.
Opium. He's doing the good stuff. Colonel Doom cutting promos talking about him and Rick Payne joining forces to enter the Tag Team Derby. That the 3 of those guys in Pain and Destruction will be in the Triple D 6-man tournament. So lots going on there. And, again, he wants a piece of Monster Truck Tanaka. So I'm curious if we're going to see a rematch between Mick Ferrari and Colonel Doom. They had a long rivalry. Next up, you got Johnny Carnage talking about how he's gotten back and how this is his chance to really kind of like cap off his return year with a big win on Anarchy and take the Global Championship. And then he brings up Monster Truck Tanaka, who we kind of have a rivalry with, and talking about mutual respect. So a little surprise twist there at the end. But BRL, thank you guys for all your promos. I appreciate it. My voice appreciates it. And Alex, do you?
I dig it.
Good, I gotta piss.
Well, turn off your camera at least. God damn it.
I'm pulling the Trevin.
It's gross. All right, fantastic. I dig that. Next up, IWL. So look what's going down in the IWL.
Wow, nothing.
You fall asleep again?
No, I'm here.
Good for you.
There's some stuff. You
How much
read the
stuff?
bulletin, you'll find out. That's all I got.
Wow.
So we just had Wrestle Riot. So there's the write-ups. You should read them. Some people took time to write them, so you should definitely read them.
Yes, and once again, if you didn't have a match write-up, write your own and then send it to me. But we did have some fantastic write-ups. So for everyone that sent me write-ups, thank you so much for that. I deeply, deeply appreciate it.
I don't think so.
It's a good show.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So, IWL, Ollie Atari, he's talking about Rex Chambers winning the Pan Am. Talks about the Neil Luther match. Luther is no longer in the IWL.
Nope, officially unemployed.
That's correct. But he's in the draft, so we'll see what
Maybe.
happens. I heard he declared for the draft. That's what they're reporting, but could be a lie.
That
You
was,
never know.
that was a year ago.
Uh-huh.
There's only one place they can go.
Yeah. The BWL?
Well, he can go to court and challenge their stuff there. Yeah, Title IX, I guess it's called, right? Title IX?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Atari also touches on, the Johnny B Cup Finals and talks a little bit about Senior Lucha, who may or may not have made an appearance at Wrestle Riot.
I fucking hate Senior
And
Lucha.
I do too.
Piece of trash.
He's
It's a wife beater, from what I understand.
He's a lot of bad things. Luther Alexander found out some stuff, and it was banned. So that's how not awful it is. Anyway, next up we have the IWL World Champion Barry Takemi Stevens. He talks about his title defense against Rod Camino. Talks about Ricky Spanish, Chameleon, Honestly Brutal, Abe, and Neo Dragon. And evidently Neo Dragon was the one who won their first, or the number one title contender match.
Yeah, so it's going to be Barry Stevens and Neo Dragon at the King of Pro Wrestling, which is live from Madison Square Garden.
It's a big show. It's the biggest show of the year right there. Huge. Next up, we have the Von Snaps. And they're just talking trash about the Regulators and the Graces. So they just lost the Regulator, did they not?
That's correct.
Yep.
So.
You done peeing already?
Yeah, and I changed shirts too. Didn't you see?
Squeezed it out.
I dig that.
I need one in black,
Then-
Matt.
I'll see what I can do.
And then they got LePage Turner in here again. I don't know why he's just. I don't know. Like I
He
don't
shouldn't
know
even
what
be the
he's talking
champion.
about.
He doesn't deserve the title. He's a worthless piece of trash.
Yeah,
Bad
who is
guy.
this guy? Well, just go back to the BRL where people know who you are, and
He's just not over here.
yeah, you're embarrassing yourself.
QT Marshall heat.
You got that X-Pac heat.
The fans of the IWL are I guess they're spoiled with good wrestlers. Unlike
like
LePage.
Magnum TL.
Like Magnum TL, Haruki Fuji,
Achilles Leo.
Achilles Leo's. Like,
Great Amundo.
who's the IWL World Champion again?
Texas Jesse Tombstone.
Damn right he is.
Well done,
All
Ryan.
right.
Well done.
Good job, Ryan. So we have, after for whatever reason again, LePage Turner. Like I think that the IWL commissioner should file a grievance with the IWAR. Like
I agree.
it's a complete overstep.
Yeah, that commissioner sucks. IWAR commissioner's
Which-
terrible.
Who is the IWAR commissioner right now?
Oh, it's Mike Cook.
You have one? It's Mike Cook. That's not true.
Oh, we lose Mike?
I'm talking about who's the kayfabe IWAR commissioner.
Oh, the actual the commissioner of IWAR.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's empty right now.
It's going to be Luther Alexander.
Oh,
Doesn't have a job.
That would be the end of the
God's
world.
defeat.
So we have Chameleon. He's talking about the number one contenders match with Neo Dragon, and he attacks Dave the Decision Wazlowski. It looks like, but he's definitely stepping it up.
Sure is.
It's-
Sure is.
The Chameleon, then the Patriot and Christian Warrior basically just summon their best Joe Boring. They're literally reading the preamble to the Constitution. So that's where we're at with that. The Amazing Graces talk about the Demolition Crew, but they should be more worried about their unified or their tag title defense. Who are they fighting again for their IWAR championship?
Who are the Graces
Yeah,
fighting now? They're fighting
No.
next is who the heck is Mike Cook and the California Gunslinger,
There you go.
not Gunfighter.
Not gunfighter. It's gunslinger. But
That's
you
right.
would know that if you weren't writing all those LePage Turner promos. Rogue Grady attacks Eunuch Mateo and Tim Dirty Dog. And he references LePage Turner. As obviously they have a, he's kind of tired of him roaming around, running his mouth. So he reminds them that the Gradys are everywhere. So good for the Gradys. They're just, hopefully they take care of that old bastard. He talks about U.S. mail. And, basically people are they're getting pretty excited about Sheepdog Rogue Grady here in the IWL. California Gunslinger talks about becoming Grand Prix champion. Shotgun Kid lays down a challenge. Neo Dragon returns to outside the ring with Misty Hyatt.
Yep.
And talks about defeating Luther Alexander and the #1 contender match, which he won. So for him, he's got a new look. He's got a new logo.
Snazzy gear.
Yeah, he's riding high. Riding high. Death Leprechaun. Free Quebec sucks. That's literally their whole. That's it. That's all you gotta know. Rod Camino, after his defeat, he's taking a little bit of a timeout. He's going to get a cabin in the woods. Probably do some things that are probably illegal. So, the decision, David Tijwalks, whatever his last name is.
Wazalowski.
Wazalowski.
That's what I'm calling him.
Talks about Chameleon and the best of the best. Did you their best of the best? Did that finish up? Do we get the results on that?
That was one. Well, Rhett Grady won that last one, and the latest one. It's still rolling.
Maybe don't do that again.
Where is it? There it is. Oh, okay. The new one.
Wait. What did Rhett Grady win?
He won the best of the best, which was to earn a title shot at the IWAR Championship.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, what ended up happening was Kabuki Dragon, he lost, and what ended up happening was the guys in the other round, to make it fair, I said whoever had the highest score of the 3 survivors so far advanced, and that was Rhett Grady. So he's up there, and then in the new best of the best, this is number 8. The Stranger Things one. Pharmacist RX Payne lost by 1 point to Dr. Pilot Driver. He went to med school. Don't mess it up. Mad Jax McAllister advanced over Ninja Lago, and then IWL matchups. Sheepdog Rogue Grady crushed Neo Dragon 500 and 498.
Jesus Christ.
Crushed. And then Dave the Decision Wazalowski, also with a 500, beat Sam Hain with a 499. So that's like a really crazy scores, guys. So
when does Rhett Grady get his IWAR title match?
Not this coming Magic Clash, the one after.
And you see Rogue Grady running up on the IWL side.
Like, I know. Could we get brother versus brother?
See, the Gradys are everywhere.
Yeah, you can smell them.
They're worse than the Von Schnapps.
And obviously, if you want high scoring, high quality wrestling, you go to the IWL. The BRL it's just there.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Dr. Piledriver, he might be a Grady.
Like the BRL gives, like, just like Raw gives Alex the drizzling shit. Like, that's where they're at.
It does. It's like peeing out my butthole.
There you go.
Nice.
A Piledriver could be Grady Von Schnapp.
Hey, we don't have any Lance Von Erichs in the Grady family. All right, there's no fake Grady.
I bet it would if he was a huge world champion.
There's no Randy Grady's out there floating around.
Randy O'Grady.
It could be Randy Grady Von Schnapp.
The Irish relative.
Exactly.
Right.
Brady Von Schnapp. All right. Atticus Black is talking about, obviously, his match, his loss to Ricky Spanish and Deadeye, but it doesn't really seem to be over. So it seems
it'll never be over.
Never be over. There you go.
Never be over.
Carver challenges Damian Killswitch. Callahan says goodbye to Racer McNips.
Damn shame.
He's in the IWA Hall of Fame for literally existing. And then who's the list guy? I still don't know.
The who?
The person with the list. It says
That's why it's very important to put your name on your TT.
please do. Like, I know who Atticus Black is because I just know who it is. Like, I can't remember. If you don't put your name every time, I'm not going to remember. Like, I don't remember people's names. So, like, if you don't put your name on there, I don't know what to tell you. Like, at least you put a photo, but, like, that photo is so generic, I don't know. Anyway. This is Deadeye gets attacked by Atticus Black. So, they're obviously still alive. Big Bad Bob talks about how Barry Stevens is full of shit.
It's true.
Yes.
Wait till you see Barry's response.
He's not wrong. But Big Bad Bob Harris has a while to go if he's going to get up to the top of the pecking order there. So you might want to pick somebody else to call out. Barry's a petty guy, so it's not hard to get under his skin.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No, I think I can announce this now. Is that Big Bob Harris will be taking on California Gunslinger in the Grand Prix series starting next cycle.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo.
All kinds of announcements happening. Demolition Crew, they're still the champs, and they're waiting their next challengers, which are Kenneth Oblivion and Christopher Destruction. I like Kenneth.
No,
Oblivion.
they fought him at the pay-per-view.
Oh, they fought him at the. Well, who's their next challenger? It'll be the 4-pack challenge winner, right?
Well, who won it last cycle?
Who won it last cycle?
Who won it last cycle?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who won it last? Tell me.
Don't you read the bulletins?
No, I don't. I don't pay
know,
attention
I
to
know.
text.
I don't know.
It was the eraser.
It's not the eraser.
It's always the eraser. No matter what the answer is, it will always be the eraser. Try it.
It's the
Call it a
Graces.
question.
It's the Graces are the next challengers.
Oh my, that's good. That's
The
good.
erasers.
That'd be crazy.
There's more than one eraser?
The erasers.
I don't know. There could be.
They're everywhere. They're a legion. Next up, Rex Changer.
Was it
Rex Changer.
Grady the eraser?
Grady Von Schnapp, the eraser. Is that your name?
Yeah.
Nice.
Eraser
Rex-
punch. Yeah. Yes.
Eraser Von Schnapp. It's obviously not hard to be a Von Schnapp. Rex Chambers talks about his Wrestle Riot. Obviously, he's the new Pan American champ. Talks about his little blooming whatever. I can't even talk. Little love affair with Ali Atari. So we'll see where that goes. But Rex Chambers, congratulations, his first title, and he's really done well for
He
himself.
does. He does a fantastic job.
Michigan Border Patrol talks about the Triple D Cup, and Lone Star Redneck addresses the little Neo payoff rumors that Luther Alexander started,
Which
and
is still
he also
true.
attacks. What's up?
It's true.
He says it's definitely not true, but
Like he would say, like, oh yeah, he paid me off. Like, come on, guys. He has zero credibility.
it doesn't matter because he's gone. Luther's gone.
Well, there might be someone else who's going to take umbrage with this, and we got to figure out who that person is underneath the mask. So
The eraser.
it's not the eraser.
It's Owen Van Grady.
It's 50. It might be the chameleon.
Chameleon.
Because I'm pretty sure the chameleon is the one that he lost that match. He was dressed up as Luther, and
That makes sense.
That's what happened.
This is just
Well, the eraser had his title taken away from him.
what? Who is the eraser?
Huh?
Huh?
I don't know. What he told me.
This is getting interesting now. And then also, Lone Star Redneck attacked Atticus Black too. Atticus Black is just having a hard time.
It's when you garner that kind of attention, everyone starts coming after you, and that's how you know you're doing a good job.
Yep.
There you go.
That's right.
That is not
Remember that
true.
one? It reminds me
It's
of
a
that.
big fabrication.
It reminds me of that one time where in the NWL, everyone's TT was about Luther that one cycle.
Yeah, I don't know what this Order of Extreme is. Does anyone know what that is?
That's the Order of Extreme.
But it just says Jefferson or A double. I don't understand. Anyway. Whatever. And then also the Demolition Crew gets served.
They do.
Yes. I don't know what that means and who that is. It's a cliffhanger. So
They're having a breakdance battle, apparently.
are they?
I mean, they should. Who was the breakdancing wrestler? Was that Who's that?
PN News.
No.
The Eraser.
Disco Inferno.
No. Was it Jules Strongbow? Was it
Yeah.
Jules?
Oh, no.
Jules?
Scorpio.
Chris Benoit.
Uh,
Oh.
What? That was awesome.
Oh.
Oh, man.
what is PN News doing right now? Is the real question.
Well, he's 6 feet underground, so not
He's
much.
not dead.
Sure.
I'm pretty positive that he's still alive.
He's
Put two
alive.
bullets in him.
You did not. The racer did.
Finally.
I'm never going to put him over, Scott. I'm never putting him over.
When did they get? What was the name
Wait,
of
you don't even know who he is.
Exactly.
the wrestler in the IWAR or in the NWL?
Gonna be so
The
sad
PN News
when
gimmick.
you,
Oh, Billy Jack
when you
Novak.
don't put him over and he's like the big giant superstar.
Billy Jack Novak.
I hate that guy.
Why?
He should come back. Why? Because he beat me for like one cycle. I don't
I
remember.
thought because he was
It was
fly.
like-
Bitter.
It was like one of those freak cycles where like you give somebody like a garbage strat, but it just happens to be the strat that hits. So they have like a disproportionate successful cycle. But anyway.
PN News is still wrestling.
I told you.
Oh my God.
Is he under the
He-
name Cannonball Grizzly?
Yes, he's
Yes.
currently working. He currently works on most of the UK, and Ireland indies. When he is in, when he's not in the UK, he's Cannonball Grizzly. When he's in the UK, he's called American Avalanche.
There it is.
Wow.
Tony Khan,
Ireland's
hook it
known
up.
for its rap
Hook it
culture.
up. Hook it up.
So what you're saying is his story just had a beautiful ending. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying.
I don't know. He's also the cousin of Mantar.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Who was Mantar?
Mantar?
Mantar.
Mantar was
No,
Mantar.
No, right back. Who was under the Mantar mask?
PN News cousin.
Who is that?
Mantar.
Mike.
Mantar?
Mike Halleck is his name.
Oh.
Mantar what was his other gimmick? I forget.
Tarman.
His other gimmick was the only other gimmick he had was Tank.
Tank.
That works.
It was very short. Oh, he was I'm sorry, he was in ECW for a bit as shoot, I can't
PN News?
no.
Well, PN
no.
News was in ECW also.
Oh yeah, PN News was in ECW, but he was in it for a while. But Mike Howard, the guy who was Mantar, was in ECW. He was the Bruiser or something like that. Not long. It was early ECW, like 94, 95 ECW.
Oh, I think I actually know who you mean. I can see
He was
his
under
face.
Bruiser Mastino was the name I was looking for.
Yeah, that's it.
Van Hammer? What?
Is he still alive? Didn't he get arrested for? He owned
Yeah.
a sex shop and he got arrested
He got
Yes,
arrested
still
for
alive.
like a DUI or something.
for having a sex shop
Why would that
For-
be illegal?
because he was selling unauthorized love gloves.
Well,
Look it
that's
up; it's a real
huge crime.
thing.
On January 26, 2020, Van Hammer was arrested in Palm Beach County, Florida, charged with DUI and first-degree felony hit and run. He was driving 58 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour per lane while air guitaring. No, just kidding. He hit a 5-year-old child. This is actually sad. He hit a
What?
5-year-old kid on a bicycle, and he was coked out of his mind and drunk and everything. He pleaded guilty, and somehow he only got 1 year of probation and got his driver's license taken away. So the American justice system,
There you
ladies
go.
and gentlemen.
That reminds me of like the
That's
anti-pot
sad 'cause
commercials.
He wasn't even driving.
It reminds me of the anti-pot commercials that I had to watch in high school, where the kid gets ran over at a McDonald's drive-through.
Who?
There was this like because I was like, I wasn't a troubled kid, but then you watch all these videos, and there was one that was like, hey, these guys were like, you're watching this video of the guy smoking pot, like at a drive-through, and they hit the car in reverse, and like, it runs over like a kid on a bicycle.
Jeez.
Luke, you
That'll teach
you may continue.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
That's the IWL.
Okay. I, in fact, dig that. So, guys, once again, I just thank everyone for their contributions and the IWL. We had, I think this might be a record-setting cards and NTT. We had a lot of pages to go through. So, thank you so much for that, guys. I do, in fact, appreciate that. And, just keep up the great work. And, keep on feuding, keep on attacking people, and keep on doing interesting stuff,
There is one more thing for the IWL
Oh.
in the report. Texas Jesse Tombstone has a write-up for the world title.
He does.
So, nice few paragraphs there.
Oh, good.
Matt, do you want to regale us with that? Do you see that?
Sure. Let me update my. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Okay. I had the report up, but it apparently was just updated recently. Johnny B's apparently, hitting the keyboard late at night.
Well,
So,
it's not always hitting.
world champion, IWA champion, Ryan Patrick Empires, Texas, Jesse Tombstone. Managed by Ryan Patrick of Michigan. 501, 250 grand and 75 free matches, or a real wrestling belt and 25 free matches.
Get the
And
clock!
What?
Get
I
the
know
clock.
the clock. And 10 free matches for IWL managers next cycle.
Yeah, guys, so make sure you use your 10 free matches.
It's cool. So here's his quote. When you've been in IWA for 13 years and usually have one or maybe two 6-man teams, the chances of winning the world title are slim. The IWA is full of Hall of Fame caliber managers, and getting by them is no easy task. But against all odds, Texas Jesse Tombstone of the Regulators fought his heart out to give his manager his one shining moment. Oh, going CBS. March Madness. There you go. The Regulators, Tombstone, Shotgun James Carnage, and Blackjack Robertson are IWL originals, and since cycle number 1 have racked up over 100 singles titles and over 30 tag titles and over 40 6-man championships and a few IWA-wide titles along the way. But this is icing on the cake. Now it's time to see if we can strike gold one more time. Regulators, mount up.
There it is.
Yes, I'm very happy. I hope I guilted him into doing one, because I sent a message like, I would not do that. So that's awesome.
He messaged me and I didn't see it till late.
Oh.
So I apologize. I was at work. I've been MIA. For those of you who are in
You're
the
getting that bread.
You're getting paid.
I think I'm going to take the plaque, by the way. I think I'm the U.S. Championship plaque, because I'm probably never going to win it again.
That's fair.
But I am going to win the IWA Championship this cycle.
It's like
You heard it here first.
predestined.
That's right. It's a deal I made when I went to Willowick last week,
Oh,
2 weeks ago.
I will win it. I thought they just gave it to you like every so many cycles because you work for the IWA.
Nice. Yeah.
Stop sending us credit card information.
Secret W2.
Texas Jesse Tombstone. Good job. I'm happy that Ryan won.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I am ecstatic. I'm so.
We love the regulators in the IWL.
He has 3 wrestlers, 3 strats.
That's it.
I'm not very happy.
Crazy. Oh, the Racer's never happy. Who's mad? The Racer.
The Racer doesn't have any friends. How about that?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want any friends. He just erases them.
I don't need any friends.
You ever use your entire eraser, and then you get like the eraser that comes in the pack that you put on top of your pencils?
Mm-hmm.
I just bite the end of it and like.
Me too. I just chew on them. That's not good.
You're disgusting. Disgusting.
Wow.
It's pretty tasty.
It doesn't taste bad. Remember when pen erasers were like a thing? Like erasable pens?
They're still around, but
those are stupid. I only use either ballpoint pens, like the nice ones, or the anti-gravity pens, or
I use the gel.
Or I use a feather plume.
You got to use gel because it keeps like criminals from stealing your checks.
Someone used the check at my job the other day. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm pretty sure it's going to bounce.
That's great.
Stop using checks. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, get a debit card. Unbelievable. So up next, BWL. So Matt, what's going down?
Well,
put your shirt back on.
What?
Put your shirt back on.
I have it on. This is the. I dig that shirt.
I was just looking at inappropriate pictures of you. I'm sorry.
So anyways,
BWL still around.
BWL number 5. So our 5th tour.
Yeah.
And, we should mention that congrats to Riley Reynolds, who won the IWA Women's Championship, which, along with Betty the News Championship last cycle, means we won the IWA Championship for women back-to-back, which means we get 10 free matches next cycle. Sound right? Yeah.
Sure.
That's it. So that's IWL and BWL next cycle, 10 free matches.
Yeah, pretty good. IWAR. I'm sure someone out there is angry about us winning, or our guys winning, but that's okay.
When you say next cycle, you mean Tuesday?
I mean, in theory, this report, like the IWA report that just hit, would be coming to us this Tuesday. So then we get it in the mail, like, oh, there it is. So next cycle. So not this coming cycle, the cycle after.
September 13th.
Okay,
Yes.
so the September 13th cycle, the IWL and the BWL both get 10 free matches.
Right.
All right.
There it
Just
is.
to clarify that.
No, it's good to get that. I know in the NWL chat room they were talking about that.
We used to date it back in the day. We probably should go back to doing that. Hey guys, this cycle you get these free matches. Like we used to do that.
Yeah. So the big news is the Where the Boys Aren't pay-per-view, our first BWL pay-per-view.
My favorite Where the Boys Aren't is number 13. My favorite No Man's Land is number 7.
No Man's Land will be our next pay-per-view, so that's in the works. And I have a late last-minute switch in this that I'll leave for the pay-per-view because a player sent me a message and was like, my wrestler was left out. And I was like, no, you were. Oops. So I'm going to get him involved somehow, but we'll work on that later.
He was erased.
He's the eraser. So just to go over the results real quickly, I won't go over every single match, but the big results were IWAR Women's Championship match, Riley Reynolds defeated Veruca Salt. The Women's Global match, Shiloh Wallace defeated Wildfire Betty Red. The Women's Triple Threat Championship went to Aria Gunpowder. Gina Colada defeated Penny Punk in a Loser Battles match. Tiamat defeated Rain Grady in a Beaver County Street Fight. The tag match went to Starfall Tigers and Vicky Venom. And I was going to say, Mike, I think what we'll do is whoever wins this tag match, we'll do a tag match each time. Let them automatically go into the next triple threat qualifiers. That way they get, something to think about next time. Pinfalls Anywhere. Addison Killswitch defeated Meat Train. And the open challenge was a draw between Cinderella Frankenstein and Jeannie Briggs. That leads to mayhem, but that'll be a surprise for the write-up. Let's see here. Mike, do you want to talk about the... let me get to it. The Perfect 10?
Yep. So out of 13 matchups, we finally had some progress. We're done with 7 out of 13. This cycle, Gina Colada advanced, Riley Reynolds advanced, and Vicky Venom. Shiloh Wallace is up 6 points on Aria Gunpowder, so that one could, end pretty quick. Wildfire Betty Red is up 4 on Zuckaroo Zebop. Starfall Tigress is up 3 on Rachel Van Dorn. Huntress is up 1 on Tiamat. Veruca Salt is up 1 on Mrs. Cornbread. And Lorraine Grady and Bonnie Banks are tied after 3.
Is there a, I thought of this later, is there a deadline? Like you have to win by X cycle?
I didn't put one on this. I was kind of just curious how long it would take. So we'll have to put some parameters around it later.
Yeah.
The problem is, like 3 cycles in a row, half the league has starred. So
yeah,
like the matchup that's tied, it was a 495, 495, 499 versus a 494, 498, 497. Like it's just, you can't keep that up forever, right?
Right. Well, that's the thing. UWL is really cranking out good scores. Thanks, guys. Oh, gals. Yeah. So I guess next time we'll do a cap on it.
This was a little bit of an experiment to see how this goes, but yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Sort of the same way with our was it first to 300 or something like that? Was that the scoring?
150 for the scores.
Yeah.
And that took 4.
Whoops. Yeah. So
I do have updates on those. Rain Grady is 15 points away from getting 200,000 for second place.
Wow.
On the money, Bonnie Banks with that 100,000 from the state title had a huge jump. Still like 20,000 behind Betty Than You, but they're both getting really close to 200,000. So another 100,000 to go there.
Nice.
Wins is going to take. That's the one we were really off on wins because Betty Than You is winning right now after 5 cycles and only at 20% of the target. So that one's going to take like 25, 30 cycles. So we were a little off there.
Yeah. Oops.
The strat total is going to be an interesting one because we said 3,000, but nobody was quite good enough to get there in 6 cycles, so it's going to be 7. So I put a bunch of tiebreakers in. Right now, though, we have, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are averaging a star. So it's only like a 2-point difference between the top 5. So that'll be a good one to watch next cycle.
Okay.
And stars, we've got 3 that have starred 4 out of 5 cycles, so that's halfway towards the target of 8 there.
And did you say you were going to put together a like an interactive setup map, like everyone against everybody?
So a matrix, basically, you'll look at your name on the left side, and you'll find every single opponent on the top, and you can see how many times you've beat them. So yeah, you will know exactly who you struggle against and who you are beating consistently.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah. And not something I would try with most leagues, but the low match count really helps do some things like that. Yeah,
I think it'll be fun. So, did you get someone to do the questionnaire? Was it?
Yep.
That's settled? Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we had this cycle's free questions were Veruca Salt, who got snake bit. I still say Veruca Salt lost the championship because she changed her avatar. She was the pigtailed, little girl.
Gross.
I don't know, cheerleader look. And then changed it to the Rhea Ripley, and all of a sudden, bang. So, now you know. So, promos leading off is Shiloh Wallace talks about all the studying she's done on Betty Red, watching video and getting ready for this match, and that she's gonna see never forget what a face-off feels like. And women's, Charlotte goes on to win. So that write-up actually I already have. So thank you. That'll be in the pipeline, so to speak. Let's see here. Next up, Bonnie Banks talks about wanting to be on the card, and that she should be involved, and wants a spot. So that'll be happening. Next up, Vicky Venom's talking about her teaming with Starfall Tigress. Doesn't really like her, but that she wants to win. That's the big thing. And I like the idea of making the winning tag team advancing to the next pay-per-views qualifier matches. Maybe they'll go head-to-head in one. That way you have a little history there. Next up, we got Betty Red talking about a lot of people. She wants a shot at Veronica Assault, Veruca Assault, and calls her Veruca Salt Tail. Make that work. And Betty's talking about Gina Colada, talking a lot of people. Who she's not talking about is her challenger, Silo Wallace. So maybe that's what distracted by other wrestlers. Next up, you have Starfall Tigress, who's talking about Rachel Van Dorn, their rivalry in the Perfect 10. She talks about Veruca Salt and wanting to beat her for the title. And then, of course, she talks about Betty Than You, saying, the only way you beat me is through incompetent referees. I love the fact that the Starfall Tigress makes excuses every cycle for why she lost. It's just fun. And they're always different. And she wants to see certifications of Fanny B. Fine. Fanny B. Fine's a good wrestler. Next up, we got Rain Grady, who's kind of talking about some of the talent. Again, Callie Kimura is gone from the league, so that's a write-off. I don't know if Callie Kimura will put through a Cadillac windshield, though. Maybe. She tells Beulah Booger she declines Beulah Booger's offer for her brother to split your pig, but he's taking it. I enjoyed that. All I can think of is that song, I'm a big girl banger. Next up is
good
Tiamat.
for you.
Hey, take a punch. Next up is Tiamat, and she's talking about Tiamat and what they're going to go through, and kind of saying how you're looking here, you're a 1,000-win veteran. You get a lot of experience, and at the pay-per-view, the reign of terror. So I'm looking forward to reading that write-up because a couple of the write-ups that came through, it's a lot going on in them, and I like that because this will be a fun pay-per-view to read up on. So looking forward to see how that plays out. Riley Reynolds talks about her big title match, and I'm curious to see how she's going to advance